know what time it is.
Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my niggas.
Got my nigga Ramon with me.
But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor.
You know what I'm saying?
Under commanding General Yahanna. That for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Look, hey, straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home. That's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown. I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, make you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it. Ain't got no manners, all them pussy niggas talking shit. Yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid number, real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live again. Oh, we in them graves, shit got me feeling plain. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complex. Still fighting to get accepted, we hear the truth and reject it. But love is getting corrected, and all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey.
Let it vibe real quick. Look. The city eyes, it's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shot in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, when they tell them it's all true. Because it's that foundation faulty to fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. We colder than the avalanche, way above average. Fans taste sweet, told him make me an appletree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Java, come on, man. Dark sands get broke down. riding through Evanston with Mark Quad. Telling me how them crackers turn his childhood to a ghost town. Stop, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them mother niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo, spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Pay me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yara, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
All right, let's clap it up. Get a most high hand. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we are led by the amazing Commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? The ISUPK is the home of the truth. If you are not in the ISUPK, you are not in the truth. We are not affiliated with any other so-called Hebrew Israelite group. You know what I'm saying? We are the home of the truth. We are the original truth, and we are still the truth. You know what I'm saying? We no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not in the ISUPK, you're not in the truth. I'm priest and officer of 50, Yabakan Banya Howard. You know what I'm saying? And this is the ISUPK Port Arthur / Beaumont Wednesday law class. You know what I'm saying? Where we go over scriptures in the Holy Bible, you know what I'm saying, pertaining to the law. You know what I'm saying? Break them down, you know what I'm saying? Because the law was given to, you know what I'm saying, the Israelites, our people, you know what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters. The Israelites are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the laws of Moses, you know what I'm saying, the laws of the Most High, the law, statutes, and commandments that were given to the Israelites to be the best nation on the earth. You know what I'm saying? To be rulers over the earth, to be on top of everything. That's why the law was given to them. And we still have the law to this day, but we as a nation do not keep the law. So I thank the Most High and Command General YAHANNA for the ISUPK, you know what I'm saying? Because with this, we're able to teach, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to teach you all, you know what I'm saying, the laws and then this book. So we always come prepared to every Wednesday class with our little trio of books. We got our 1611 King James Bible, our King James Apocrypha. These 2 books make a complete Bible. And then we have our Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. So Bible Dictionary gives us the definitions of words, biblical definitions of words found in the Bible that we might need clarity on to get a better understanding on the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? I thank the Most High also because I got this new little setup. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if everybody has been noticing, but I've been moving around from class to class. And a lot of my classes may appear different, but I'm saying I thank the Lord that I got a little permanent setup now. We're just gonna build on this one. I got this laptop, and not today, but on my next class, I'll be able to put the scriptures on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like my Ottawa does it in the Tuesday class. The scriptures will be there for you to be able to see on the screen. I just have to learn how to do it. I wasn't able to learn how to do it on this class. But yeah, we're going to get into it, man. The title of today's class is Polygamy Unlawful? Polygamy. What is polygamy? We don't necessarily need to use a Bible dictionary to look up polygamy. We could use a regular Webster, Merriam-Webster. So I'm going to look up polygamy in our Google machine, and then I'll be able. That's what we're going to be going over today. I mean, and let me not be a spoiler. So let me hurry up and get this. All right, this is the Google Dictionary definition of polygamy. Polygamy is the practice of having more than one spouse at the same time. It is also known as plural marriage and comes from the late Greek word polygamia, which means state of marriage to many spouses. The word was first used in 1538 or 1547. I think that means 1538 AD. All right, that definition does me a little bit of justice. The practice of having multiple spouses. I don't like the word spouse. They're trying to be politically correct for today's climate. You know what I'm saying? With the LGBTQP people and whatnot. I'm saying I don't like the word spouse. I like wife. Polygamy is having more than one wife, not spouse, because there's certain acts of marriage that are unlawful off the bat. You know what I'm saying man marrying another man. You can find that in I think Exodus. Not Exodus, but Leviticus 12 and 13. You know, man is not supposed to lie with another man. Mankind is not supposed to lie with mankind as if it were womankind. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm saying same-sex marriage out of the bat, no. But is men having multiple wives unlawful? So that's what polygamy is: multiple spouses, or more so, multiple wives. And is it unlawful? Well, the answer to that question is no, it is not unlawful. In fact, polygamy is very lawful, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm going to get you to understand that by the end of today's class. We're going to go over, you know what I'm saying, the fact of why polygamy is a good thing. And, you know what I'm saying, we're going to battle some speculations on polygamy. You know what I'm saying, what a Christian might tell you about polygamy. You know what I'm saying, the Christian church will lead you to believe that it's not a righteous behavior because it's cheating on your wife, on your woman, and it's not an act of love. But, you know, after today's class, we're going to go into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to break it. I'm going to do 3 main points of breaking it down, give us scriptures and everything. You know what I'm saying? Breakdowns of the scriptures will be good to go. But polygamy is not unlawful. Polygamy is lawful. And the first one I'm going to go to is I'm going to go to prominent men in the Bible that had multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of men in the Bible. The Christians might argue this is the Old Testament, but you know, so I got something for that too. Just stay tuned. We're gonna get into today's class, learn a little bit about polygamy and why it's such a beautiful thing. So, but first, I'm just gonna give us a few very righteous men that had more than one wife. And as we know, if these men were being accredited in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, these men have books written by them or written about them. And in the Bible, these men have books in the Holy Bible. And biblical records are set apart records. If these men have a book about them in this book, then they have to be somewhat righteous. And if they had multiple wives and that wasn't righteous, they wouldn't have books about them. But the first man I'm going to bring up is Moses. Moses, yep, the brother that led our people out of the land of Egypt and to the brim of the promised land. He didn't quite lead us into the promised land, but that was his objective. He did lead us out of Egypt. He was a great leader. Moses had 2 wives. Yep, his wives were here. We're gonna read about him now. The first wife, I think, is Zilpah, not Zilpha, but Zephaniah. We're gonna find out now. We're gonna go to Exodus 2 and 16. Bear with me. It's lucky again for not being able to have the scriptures on the screen. I'll definitely be able to have that for everybody next class. But this is the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 16. Now the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. So this is Exodus. This is when we were migrating out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? As a nation, and Moses he sees that the priests of Midian was one of the places that they had to migrate through. So the priests of Midian had seven daughters. That's what 16 says. And they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. Verse 17. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. So pretty much Moses had an encounter with the daughter, and he kind of stood up, did a manly act for them. You know what I'm saying? He kind of put a little manhood on it, and he kind of showed that was his first interaction with the daughters. Verse 18. And when they came to Raul, their father, he said, "How is that ye are come so soon today?" Verse 19. And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock." So Moses, he was an Egyptian, but that's what the Egyptian talking about was Moses. Moses grew up in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? He lived with Pharaoh, but he was an Israelite. Just like today, like I'm an Israelite, but I'm an American. So that's the Egyptian they're talking about. The father asked, how did y'all come back so soon? You know what I'm saying? It's early, and y'all supposed to be watering the flock. You got to draw water from the well and water the flock. The daughter said, "Man, some of the shepherds tried to give us some a hard time, and an Egyptian came and saved us, and he watered the flock." Verse 20. And he said unto his daughters, "And where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread." Verse 21. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter. Verse 22. And she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, "I have been a stranger in a strange land." So Zipporah was Moses' first wife. He got her from the priest of Midian. Pretty much helping her out. He helped the priest of Midian out. The priest of Midian gave him one of his daughters, and the Zipporah gave him his son. That's Moses' first wife. So if Moses had Zipporah, he married Zipporah. Who would his second wife be? We're going to go to Numbers 12:1. All right, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. He had married an Ethiopian woman. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why Miriam and Aaron are speaking against Moses, because it's against the law, statutes, and commandments to marry an Ethiopian woman. And this is in Numbers. So, you know what I'm saying? But I have to get more context on him marrying this Ethiopian, and when did he marry this Ethiopian, before Zipporah or after Zipporah? But I'm going to give you the Ethiopian woman name. The Ethiopian, I'm going to keep going. Verse 2. And they said, "Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses?" It doesn't give you her name right here. Yes, like it, Israel. It doesn't give you the name of the Ethiopian woman in this chapter, but the Ethiopian woman's name, It gives you her name in the chapter where it's talking about her father-in-law, Moses' father-in-law, the Cushite man that gave Moses a little bit of wisdom. But Salaki, I don't have that either. I could find it really fast. There's the beauty of having a laptop right here. I'm gonna look it up really quick. It says Moses. I typed in Moses' Ethiopian wife, and it gave me Zipporah. Okay, that makes sense. I'm typing in Moses' wives. Okay, Salakia. You can't trust the internet, so I'm learning as we go with this new setup. So I'm never gonna do that again. I'm never gonna just ask a question that's meant for the Adawanium about the scriptures, because the internet's not gonna lead me to the right place. But Moses definitely had two wives. You know what I'm saying? I read one about Zipporah. The other one, I forgot her name, so it's Lakia. But one of them was the Ethiopian woman, and one of them was Moses, a wife that Moses had before the Ethiopian woman. So I'm gonna run. You get the gist of what I'm going at with these men with multiple wives. So of course I'm gonna bring us to Jacob, because if it wasn't for Jacob, whose name we know as Israel, then we wouldn't have the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob had 4 wives, but also Solomon. And the Christian church will tell you about Solomon. So that's why Solomon got tripped up, because he had so many wives. But King Solomon, he didn't get tripped up because he had many wives. King Solomon got tripped up because he had wives that were of other nations. He was sleeping with heathens. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm going to go to next. I'm going to go to Solomon's wives in the book of 1 Kings 11 and 3. All right, this is the book of 1 Kings 11, verse 3. I'm going to read 11 and 1. I'm reading from the top and go on to 3. First, this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. It's saying from the back, he loved strange women. Verse 2, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart from their gods. It's like it. Surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? When you love those heathen women, it turns your heart away from your God and you start believing in their God. Just because you love that woman so much, you love that woman loves, and then she loves a God that's not your God. That's how Solomon got tripped up. But here is the part where it talks about his wives. Verse 3, and he had 700 wives, princesses, 700 princesses. Princesses mean, you know what I'm saying? They were Israelites. They were a princess of the power. He had 700 princesses, but then there's more. And 300 concubines. Concubine, That's some heathen woman. That's the woman that he married, you know what I'm saying? Just finding, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into, you know what I'm saying, why getting concubines was popular in the Old Testament, but not only concubines, but why having multiple wives period was popular then, and it still is a practice today. It's hated on a lot, but you know what I'm saying, it's not unlawful. But before we get into that, I'm gonna have to bring up Jacob, because you know what I'm saying, Jacob is the forefather of Israel. We can't go without talking about his wives. You know what I'm saying? So of course we don't know the names of Solomon's 1,000 wives, but he had many wives. That's how he got tripped up. You can read later in that book of Kings, first Kings, to find out what happened to Solomon and what happens to the nation after he got tripped up by those heathen wives. But for Jacob, we're taking it back to Genesis 29 and 18. This is going to be his first two wives, Leah and Rachel. So we're going to read it. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 18. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. So he's talking, this is Jacob talking to Laban, the father of Rachel right now. He's saying this is what he'll do. He'll serve this father just so he can have his daughter. That's the dowry, because a dowry must be paid. A dowry is lawful. So he's willing to work for Laban, which is Rachel's father, for 7 years for the dowry to have Rachel. Verse 19, and Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And verse 20, and Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. So 7 years only seemed like a few days for the love he had for Rachel. You know what I'm saying? That's how long he worked. Verse 22, and Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made it a feast. Verse 23, and it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. So this is what happened. They had a big ceremony, a feast with all the men, and then he gave him the wrong daughter. You know what I'm saying, he could have been it doesn't necessarily say it, but it says that they had a feast, a celebration. So most likely he could have been intoxicated a little bit. And then that's why when he laid with the daughter, he laid with the wrong daughter. I'm gonna read it. I'm giving you a spoiler. It's likely. So yeah, verse 23, and it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her in, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. Verse 24, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for an handmaid. Verse 25, and it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this thou hast done unto me? Did I not serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? So pretty much he woke up the next day and rolled over and saw, you know what I'm saying, who he had married, who he had laid with was not Rachel, it was Leah. And then he went to the father, yo, I work for Rachel. Why you beguiled me? You tricked me. And then we're gonna keep going. Verse 26. So at that point, he married Leah. So Leah was his wife. Even though it was trickery being done, Leah was his wife. So verse 26. And Laban said, it must not be done. It must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. So that was Laban's, you know what I'm saying, reasoning of why he did it. You know what I'm saying? It was still kind of trickery, but he said, and where he comes from, he has to give the firstborn first and then the younger daughter. So at that point, Jacob had to work for the younger daughter because he already got given a daughter, but he still wanted Rachel. I'm gonna continue. Verse 27, fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. 7 other years. Verse 28, and Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. Fulfill her week. I don't know what that means. But when I was initially taught this, I was taught that he had to work 7 more years, for like 7 more years on top of the original 7 that he worked. So let me continue for a second. Verse 28, and Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. Verse 29, and Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, it's like a Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. And when he went in also unto Rachel, he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. Right. So he served 7 more years on top of the original 7 years. That's how much he loved that woman. And it said that he loved Rachel more than he loved Leah, but he still had to love them both, man. He had to protect them. And that's what I'm getting into now. I'm running out of time. So I'm going to pretty much, Jacob's other 2 wives were those 2 handmaids that we just read about, Zilpah and Bilhah. Those became his wives became so old they thought they couldn't bear children anymore. Well, I'll go to it really quickly. Genesis 30 and 4. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 4. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. So that's Bilhah. So far he has Leah, Rachel, and Bilhah. Now we're going to go to 9. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 9. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. 10 and verse 10. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. You know what I'm saying? That's where Gad came in. But yeah, so Jacob married all 4 of these women. You know what I'm saying? He only really wanted to marry one, but he ended up marrying 4 women, and those 4 women were the mothers of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's where the 12 tribes come from. All right, so let's just I had more men, but we're running out of time. That's just some of the prominent men that had wives, multiple wives in Israel in the past, in the Bible. So now I'm going to go over why having multiple wives is more an act of love than it is scandalous behavior. You know what I'm saying? Why it's more love than a flex or trying to be a big macho man or anything like that. It's an act of, so multiple wives back then, women that didn't have men to protect them, they were often forced into slavery or prostitution, let alone being, you know what I'm saying, in a household by themselves. You know what I'm saying? And some type of raider or burglar could come in and, you know what I'm saying, do whatever, you know what I'm saying, rape. It's like, I forgot the term, but sexually assault her. You know, something that they will be unprotected, you know. So that's why women had multiple women could go to one man for that protection. And then with the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, the scriptures told the men that they have to love all their wives. You know what I'm saying? They have to protect all of their wives. And that's what we're gonna get into now. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much how women without a husband are left unprotected, even in today's time. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor that the devil, the Bible speaks of, he's like a weasel trying to get to the hen's eggs out here with our women, man. You know what I'm saying? Leading our women to believe that they could go to, that they could get more without a man in the house. You know what I'm saying? Welfare and food stamps, and even leading our women to believe that they don't have to bear children to our men. You know what I'm saying? Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm saying? Women without a man in the house are unprotected, and they need a man to pretty much steer them in the right direction. But I'm going to read a scripture that's talking about how the household is supposed to be protected. We're going to bind the strong man. So you might know this one, but we're going to go to Mark 33 and 27. Stop here. All right, this is the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. So if there's no strong man, you know what I'm saying, there's no, then he's just going to easily bind the woman, and really the woman is a possession too, so he could take the woman too. You know what I'm saying? That's what can happen. But you need a strong man. This is Christ saying this. Christ said, no man can enter into a strong man's house and take his goods unless he bind up the strong man first. Like if somebody were to come into your house or even my house, they're not going to be able to do what they want, take what they want without going through the owner of that house, the man of the house. So that's what that is. The man of the house serves protection to the household and everything in the household. Be it be the PlayStation, the food, the money, the garments, or even the family, you know what I'm saying? The young kids and the women, you know what I'm saying? Those are all of the possessions in the household. All right, so now I'm going to go to a scripture where it's talking about how, you know what I'm saying? Another scripture, that last scripture that Mark Christ is saying, that's talking about how a man is a protector of the house. But now I'm going to give us some scriptures about how the man is also a protector of the woman. I'm going to go to Isaiah 4 and 1. All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. 7 women take hold of one man. 7 women, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. They're saying we're going to have our own food and we're going to have our own clothes. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Let us have your last name. Let us be your wives, just to take away our reproach. I'm going to use my Zondervan, not Zondervan. I could use my Zondervan, but I'm trying to move fast. But a reproach. I want that definition. All right. So reproach is a verb and a noun. It's a verb. The verb is to express disapproval or disappointment. But the noun is the expression of disapproval or disappointment. So disappointment, or, you know what I'm saying? That's what the Google dictionary gives me. Reproach is like disappointment. So these 7 women needed that one man to take away their disappointment. Their disappointment being in a world, in a gruesome world, you know what I'm saying, a dangerous world without a strong man to protect them. That's their disappointment. They out here like sheep in a world full of wolves. So they need that shepherd. That's a bad example because we use that example for something else, something different. But you see the way I try to use it. Their bad name. The water Ottawa. Ottawa's watching. Their reproach is their bad name. You know what I'm saying? That their reproach is that reputation they had before they met the man. That when they get that new, not even a last name. That last name is something more in today's society. But when they could be called Bath Yashala, you know what I'm saying? Not Bath Yashala, but when they become that they have the same name as that man, they have a new reputation. Their reproach is their bad name, and they need those seven women clung to that one man just to take their bad name away. I'm gonna see if there's some more on that. Verse 2. I'm gonna just read this part. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. So that's saying, so this is talking about the day of the Lord. But even on, just to read the second verse, it's saying that day when 7 women go to one man to take their reproach away, that's going to be beautiful, man. That's going to be a beautiful thing. That's because it's going to mean that it's 7 rather than 5 or 6. 7 women had protection, and they weren't out here, you know what I'm saying, just unprotected, and you know what I'm saying, potentially being slaves or sex trafficked. I forgot the term. I don't want to keep saying the R word, but sexually assaulted or abused, like abused. So that's that. And then I'm gonna give us one more. I'm gonna go back to the New Testament. So this is the New Testament for those Christians that are saying that polygamy is only in the Old Testament. This is Matthew chapter 25, verse 1. All right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. 10 virgins. Before we were talking about 7, but now we're talking about 10. But this is a parable that Christ used. These letters are red, and I'm gonna quickly read down the parable. But this parable is not only speaking about, it's not only conforming to the idea of multiple wives being okay, but it's saying that you got to make sure you make your election sure when it comes down to being lukewarm or hot, cold, or lukewarm. You got to be in the truth 100%. You got to be hot in this truth, because this is saying that these 5, it's saying 5 of these virgins didn't have oil for their lamps, but 5 of them, they had oil for their lamps. And then I'm gonna read it. So verse 25, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Verse 2. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. Verse 3. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. Verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Verse 5. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out and meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But, verse 9, but the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy it for yourselves. So pretty much, everybody was, the 10 virgins were planning to meet one bridegroom, and then when the bridegroom finally came, it was nighttime. And the 5 virgins that didn't have oil for their lamps, they start panicking, like, yo, give us some of your oil. They said that to the 5 virgins that did have oil. And those virgins were like, no, we need our oil to see. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get married. So all these 10 women were trying to get married. And they said, you got to go buy your own. So we're at the part where they about to go buy their own. Verse 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Verse 11, afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. Verse 12, but he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. So he really in the end only married 5, because 5 were ready. 5 were diligent enough to know what they needed. This is a reference to being in the truth, being lukewarm or being hot, having zeal. You know what I'm saying? When you're in this truth, you gotta do what you gotta do to get that crown. You know what I'm saying? Or get that salvation, better yet. Because you know what I'm saying, if you don't do everything you required to do, if you get lukewarm and you know what I'm saying, fall off, even drop your sword, or not even drop your sword, but just right below dropping, right beneath dropping your sword, or right above dropping your sword, it's like the worst thing before that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to enter the kingdom of heaven if you don't make your election sure. You got to be sure that you're gonna get into the kingdom of heaven. You got to have your oil with you. Got to be prepared, man. You got to know what you're going up against. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that the oppressor, the devil, the Bible speaks of, and know not to envy any of his ways, man. But back to the topic, you know, it's talking about wives. You know what I'm saying? 10 virgins were trying to cling on to one man. This is not a true story. This is a parable that Christ used. But Christ wouldn't have used that parable if it was unlawful for a man to have multiple wives. Christ just came out and said this man had this bridegroom accepted 5 wives. Now, Christ, there's some men that have no wives. Christ was one of those men that have wives. But there's also men that have multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? Jacob was one of those men that had multiple wives. Both of these men were great men. There's no man better than Christ. Let me get that out the way. But that's not, Christ isn't the best man ever to walk the earth because he didn't have a wife. It's because of what he did on earth. Now, finally, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get us a scripture, you know what I'm saying, where it's saying, because we got some prominent figures that had multiple wives. We got some scriptures that, you know what I'm saying, appease to the idea of multiple wives. Finally, you know what I'm saying, the thought where there's no law, there's no sin has to come into play. Because there's no law in this Bible that says a man can't have multiple wives. And that's where I'm gonna take us to Romans. How much time? We're doing good on time. Romans 4:15. All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 4, verse 15. Because the law worketh wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression. So pretty much says the law worketh wrath. People get judgment from not keeping the laws. Salakia. Forgive me, excuse me. Yeah, people get the law worketh the wrath, man. People get judgment. There were some people even unalive for not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, man. The law worketh wrath. And because the law worketh wrath, where there is no law, there is no transgression. Transgression meaning sin. There's no sin if there's no law. So if it said that I want to wear, if somebody said, hey, you can't wear a shirt with gold letters on it, I'm gonna say, hey, I don't know in this Bible where it says that there's a law that you can wear a shirt with gold letters on it. So I'm gonna wear a shirt with gold letters on it, and I know that I'm not gonna be sinning. Take it back to multiple wives. If a man has multiple wives, he's not committing it's not unlawful because there is no law telling him that he can only have one wife. That's a Christian mindset, man. That's some new age Christian theology that a man can only have one wife. And it comes from the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? In Greco-Roman days, you know what I'm saying, there were queens, and the queen there was only one queen, and the queen was the wife of the king. And that's where that comes from. That you can only have one wife. So yeah, and I'm with that being said, there are things to consider. There are laws, statutes, commandments to consider when having multiple wives. And so we already went over one of them. That's what I'm saying. You can't have the heathens. I'm gonna get that up right now. It's Deuteronomy 7:3. You can have as many wives as you want, but you can't do like Solomon did and start sleeping with heathens. And I believe Moses did that too. But I think the situation with Moses was that Moses laid with that heathen before he knew the law, statutes, and commandments from the Most High. It was when he was I said the prince of Midian. I got to get clarification on which wife is which with Moses and both his wives' name, because I was just looking last night. I saw both of his wives' name right in front of me. I should have wrote it down. But Slaki, I'm gonna come back to I'm gonna clear that up on the beginning of next class. Moses' two wives and their their backgrounds, as well as what happened to Moses for sleeping with the Ethiopian. But yeah, more so Solomon. Solomon got a bad judgment for sleeping with heathen women. So I'm about to read the law right now. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. So that's the Most High speaking through Moses. You know what I'm saying? So saying don't sleep with the heathen nations, man. Don't sleep with no Edomites, which are East Indians, Ishmaelites, which are Arabians, Edomites, which are Caucasians, Moabites, Ammonites, which are Chinese and Japanese, Cushites, Ethiopians, Hamites, Africans. Don't sleep with these other nations. Sleep with Israel. There's 12 tribes of Israel. You can pick whatever tribe you want, but it has to be a woman from that tribe if you are a so-called Israelite. So that's one of the laws. Another law is not to be an adulterer. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep with a wife that's not yours. Don't try to get more wives, but that sister already has a husband. That's called adultery. I'm about to look up that. It's in Leviticus 20 and 10. All right. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So in the Old Testament, sleeping with another man's wife was a sin punishable by death, man. Even in today's, we don't put people to death for their transgressions, even though the Most High can do whatever He wants to do. The Most High can unalive you in a way that you won't even know that that's your judgment, but that'll be your judgment. But sometimes there's a crime of passion. You know what I'm saying? You sleep with another man's wife, that man himself might, like back then, a man would be the first one to throw the stone. But even today, you know what I'm saying? That man, he might serve some time after what he does, but he might unalive you for sleeping with his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like crime of passion. But pretty much, you know what I'm saying? You know, don't sleep with your neighbor's wife. Don't sleep with your brother's wife, man. That woman is already married. And furthermore, you're making a whore out of that woman. So don't make a whore out of that woman and don't sleep with your brother's wife. And as far as making a whore out of the woman, that leads me to my next law to consider when having multiple wives. And that's taking care of all of your wives. Don't put your wives away. We're going to go back to Exodus 21 and 10. And when I say put your wives away, in the Old Testament, in the time of Moses, Moses said that you could, if your wife is giving you too much grief, then you could put her away. But Christ did away with that. You know what I'm saying? Christ made it so that you can't do that no more. So you can't put your wife away. And on top of that, you have to love all your wives, take care of them. That love that we were talking about, that love that makes having multiple wives a beautiful thing and not just a flex. That love, that protection and taking care of them, you know what I'm saying, giving them guidance and making their life, you know what I'm saying, showing them appreciation. Showing them appreciation, I want to kind of give a kind of on, because even Jacob, he loved Rachel more than Leah. You know what I'm saying? He never asked for Leah, but he still did do his marital duty to Leah. He protected Leah, and he did his husband duty with Leah. You know what I'm saying? But he had favorites. So you show your appreciation as you choose. You know what I'm saying? As the Spirit moves you. But Lord willing, you have a great relationship with all of your wives if you so seek to have multiple wives. But now I'm about to read on how you're supposed to take care of all of them. And that's Exodus 21 and 10. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Pretty much it's saying, if you get you another wife, it says it right there. You can't have more than one wife. So if you do take one more wife, then her food, her raiment, which is her clothing, her food, clothing, and her duty of marriage, protection, and love, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff goes in the bedroom and outside the bedroom, you know, protection and guidance. Shall he not diminish? That's not a little thing. You have to love both of your wives if you take another wife. If you take 3 wives, you have to love all 3 of them. Food, clothing, raiment, duty of marriage. These things you can't diminish, man. You can pick and you can have your favorites, but you can't say, oh, that's my least favorite, so I'll see her next year. No, you gotta stop by every other month at least and do that duty of marriage. But yeah, man, that's that, man. So polygamy is not unlawful. Polygamy is not a sin. Polygamy is really a beautiful thing. But again, this is what the Adawanium make very clear in their teachings, that everybody doesn't have to have more than one wife. It's not a necessity to have multiple wives. It's not a necessity to have one wife at all. There are strong brothers in the scriptures and today that have no wives. There are strong brothers that have multiple wives too. But there are those brothers that fall, you know what I'm saying, victim to messing up on some of these things I had to consider. You know what I'm saying? They don't take care of all their wives, or they accidentally do away with their wife because they don't have time for her, or you know what I'm saying? They lead her to be a whore, because when she sleeps with you or sleeps with somebody else, you just made her commit adultery. You just turned her into a whore. But these things are there to consider, man. So which is why you don't have to always go for having as many wives as possible. But some men, you know what I'm saying, have a lot of love to give, and if they need more than one woman to give it to, then that's between them and the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Between them and their household, the Lord is okay with it. With that, man, we're gonna close out. Get these security announcements. All right. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, found in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'asharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, memorial of blowing of trumpets, first day of the 7th month, Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, found in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And that concludes the security announcements. All right. So with that, I'm going to say Imadium, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Imadium. Imadium Shabbat. Imadium, Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah. Yadi Matah. Sar, turn your face to sisters. I'm going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat. Imadium, Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Yadi Matah. Class dismissed.